Well, hello there, everyone, and welcome to Inspirations for Your Life. I'm glad you decided to join me. It is Friday if you're watching us live. It is June 26, 2026, and that Friday means that we're on, yes, episode number 7. Saturdays when we start a new master topic. We roll all the way through the week from Monday and we end on Friday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 being Friday. If this is your very first time with me, I want to take the opportunity to say welcome and thank you. I really do appreciate that you've chosen to listen or watch the show here. It means a lot to me that you guys want to soak up all this great information and basically become, how can we say, a better version of yourself. If you've been here one time, 5 times, 10 times, 100, or maybe even more, or lost track of count, then I want to not only say thank you and I want to say the words welcome, but I also want to say the words, what? I want to say the words, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's always great to have people that appreciate the content and want to keep coming and enjoying it and all kinds of great stuff like that. So thank you for coming back. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you for telling your friends, your colleagues, your loved ones, your associates. I really do appreciate that, ladies and gentlemen, from the bottom of my heart. So again, thank you. We'll get kicked off here in just a moment. But I want to let you know that if you're thirsty, if you're hungry, feel free to go grab yourself something. I have an RO water here with some lemon. It's nice and cool, refreshing. The lemon really hits the spot. I was at a restaurant today, and you guys know I don't do soda. So I had some water, or ice cold water, and I took a little bit of lemonade, some pink lemonade, just enough, like I would say like a jigger or two of it, roughly. And that gave the water a little flavor. So all right, guys, it is so great to be with everyone here. The master topic of this week we'll get into in just a moment. Don't forget to check out believemeachieve.com, of course, for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. You can get my short form content, my long form content, my articles, my reels, and so much more. The master topic for this week, which we're closing today, protect your energy like it builds your future. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it does. Series 5, show number 26. Today's episode is number 7, How to Align Your Life. Series 5, Show 26, Episode 7. And our theme is everything should point in one direction. I know a lot of times people get confused because they're trying to do something, but then they don't understand it. Because they don't understand it, they just basically get stuck or they wind up going backwards. So, welcome everyone to Inspirations for Your Life. I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, engineer, marketing specialist, video producer, podcast host, coach, keynote speaker, graduate student at Montclair State University, passionate lifelong learner, and so grateful now, ladies and gentlemen, to be now a published author. Today, we close this week with integration, not addition, not subtraction, but alignment. Because when everything in your life begins to point in the same direction, everything changes. This reminds me of something Dr. Dwayne Dyer shared with us many years ago, rest his soul. He learned from Patanjali, his master, and he said, when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. When we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. When we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. Similar fashion. Our core message here is most people are not stuck because they lack effort. Nope. They become stuck because their energy is divided. Their habits say one thing. Their goals, well, they say another. Their environment pulls them in another direction. Alignment is the solution. Alignment creates unity across your entire system. And that's hard for a lot of people to understand. But what I found is that when you become in alignment, things get easier, but you actually open up hidden doorways, right? You see things that were always there, but you weren't really paying attention to them. Number 1, alignment creates momentum across every area of your life. When everything moves together, progress accelerates. Number 2, when things align, life feels easier, like naturally. Yeah, it feels that way natural. And I think that's another one of those things that a lot of people I think don't realize that when something happens naturally, it goes with the flow. Resistance decreases when systems match direction. When we go in the direction of the flow, there's little or no resistance. Number 3, stop working against your own goals. So many people do this every day and they don't even know they're doing it. Internal conflict slows everything down. Number 4, your habits must match your long-term vision. Daily behavior defines future outcomes. What you're thinking about now affects tomorrow. Number 5, your circle should support your direction. Not somebody else's direction, your direction. Environment determines the momentum that you move at. Number 6, your time should reflect your true priorities. Time reveals what you value. Number 7, misalignment creates unnecessary stress. Confusion is often structural, not emotional. People try to make it emotional, and then they don't get the right answers. They get frustrated. They sometimes damage relationships, all because they don't understand. They don't realize that they're looking at it the wrong way. They're looking at it the wrong way. And I think that's a very, very big problem. If something is misaligned, it must be corrected. Small adjustments create major clarity. Small, micro adjustments, not huge adjustments. Number 9, clarity is the foundation. It's the building blocks of alignment. Without clarity, guys, direction just sort of ceases. It breaks. It stops. Number 10, alignment reduces internal resistance. When we're in alignment, our path opens up before us. Less friction means smoother execution. That's an interesting one to think about. Number 11, you move faster when systems are unified, right? But sometimes getting things unified, well, that could be a real act, right? Fragmentation slows progress. Disjointed efforts is basically what it is. Number 12, saying no creates alignment, guys, because when you say no, you're saying yes to yourself. Every no protects your direction. Learn to say it. You can say it respectfully. No, I appreciate you asking me, and I'm flattered. And right now, I have a lot on my plate, so I'm going to pass. Oh, John, you can't do it. Right now, there's a lot on my plate, and I'm going to have to say no. I want to say yes, but I have to say no. Oh, I understand. But you don't get those people trying to push you. Oh, come on, come on, come on. And those people are actually not doing the best for you. They're trying to do what's best for them. Number 13, a cohesive life produces stronger outcomes. Disconnected effort weakens the results. We're disconnected. We don't have the connection. We're not taking the information we learn from one thing to another. We're just sort of just doing things, but not really looking at feedback. Number 14, guys, stop splitting your attention across competing priorities. How many companies do you know? Well, we've got a chat system, but we've got lots of people on the chat system, and you've got to handle all the people at one time. That's insane. Focus requires consolidation. It does. Number 15, focus naturally creates alignment. Attention determines structure. If you've got good attention, guys, you're going to have good structure. I mean, that's like a hands down, right? A hands down. if you've got good structure. I said you need two things for success, ladies and gentlemen. We keep going back to this. Consistency, right? And structure. You cannot be successful without a structure and without doing consistently. Number 16, guys. Alignment. It builds confidence over time, not overnight. Consistency reinforces belief. When a belief is reinforced, it releases dopamine in our brain. It gives us a natural high that makes us want to do something because we feel so good about it. Because we feel so good about it. Number 17, everything in your life should support your direction. Not somebody else's direction, your direction. Your direction. Support systems determine success. And a support system is not built overnight, guys. It takes time. It takes time. Number 18, your actions always reveal your priorities. Your actions reveal your priorities. So what you think about is what you bring about. What you do, what you take action toward, is what's important to you. What's in alignment with, we've said it before, guys, your core values. You do things day in and day out that are reflective of your core values. Yeah. That's a wild thing, ladies and gentlemen, but it's the truth. Your core values get to act or not act. If you suddenly don't act, you probably figured out that this is not in direct alignment with my core values. Nothing wrong with that. But don't try to make it fit. Don't put a square peg in a round hole. Square pegs go in square holes. Round pegs go in round holes. Don't try to force them. Because that's when you're having problems. That's when you're not going to get flow. That's when you're going to get resistance. Right? What happens when we take I'll give you a perfect example. I had a customer the other day, client that had a cartridge. And, well, they bought one of these cheap cartridges, unfortunately. And they bought the kind, where they'd buy 3 cartridges for like $99 instead of it being $130 a cartridge. They bought 3 cartridges for $99. I said, oh, gee, that's a great value, right? Sounds like a great value. $99 divided by 3, $33. But those cartridges were not in alignment with the printer, because as soon as the person put them in the printer and tried to pull them out or realign, they got stuck. And then they wound up basically breaking the whole paper path mechanism. And it was just cheaper to throw the printer away. So when you do things that are not in alignment or for the greater good of all concerned, it's going to cause you to take a turn that you may not like. It's going to cost you money. It's going to use up resources. And resources, ladies and gentlemen, could be people, things, right? Emotions, money. I mean, that's really the truth of it, guys. So this is important to understand. Behavior never lies. As much as you think it's trying to trick you, it's actually trying to say, hey, wake up. You're not on the right track. Wake up. You're on the wrong track. You're in the wrong lane. What happens on the highway if your car starts to go over the lane? Somebody's going to hit the horn at you. True story. A client of mine, his son was traveling down toward Princeton. And basically about 3 or 4 weeks ago, he went over the yellow line. And when he went over the yellow line, he got into a very bad accident. The whole left part of his body got damaged. Lots of surgery. He was unconscious. His car was not in alignment with the lane. If it was, there would have been no issue. You see, when we stay in our paths, we create alignment. Sometimes we go out of a path, but we got to be in alignment with our principles. For if we don't do that, we disappoint not only ourselves, but others, and we also can lose respect and damage that reputation that we took years to build. You can destroy the reputation, guys, in a fraction of a second. Yeah. Damage it in a fraction of a second. Take years, weeks, months, years to build. And then you just destroy it like that. Number 19, guys. Contradictions must be eliminated. Conflicting behavior blocks progress. If you didn't know that, let's think about tug of war. If I'm trying to tug one way, you're trying to tug the other, we're going to cancel each other out. What happens if you have a positive number? Let's say it's 100. What happens if you add a negative number? It cancels itself out. So there is no 100. If you have a negative and you add a positive, it cancels itself out. When we're on one track and we're moving in that direction, and it is for the greater good of all concerned, we will succeed. Now, sometimes we'll succeed anyway if it's not for the greater good, but down the road, we're going to pay a price. The whole thing today is about being accountable for what you do. Number 20, guys. Intentional living. You've heard that word be thrown around before, that buzzword. Intentional living creates predictable results. Intentional living creates predictable results. Intentional living creates predictable results. Randomness, on the other hand, guys, reduces control. Randomness reduces control. And when it reduces control, we get into a state, ladies and gentlemen, of what? We get into a state of chaos. Okay? We get in a state of chaos. Number 21. Designing your days creates stability. We said before, if you fail to plan, you have planned to fail. Structure removes chaos. When we are clear, we remove chaos. Clarity is a real big asset. Number 22. If we choose to live on purpose, our clarity will improve. If we intentionally live on purpose. And purpose organizes, ladies and gentlemen, behavior. Purpose gives a structure to the meaning of what we're doing. Number 23, simplifying decisions strengthens alignment, which is why we want to keep things simple, not complicate things. Less noise creates better choices. And when I say noise, I don't just mean noise like from a stereo or a car. I mean noise like interference. Like you're trying to do one thing and the other side of the room says, oh, we shouldn't do it that way. We should do it this way. Right? You're working on an interface and one side of the room says, we should make sure that every page is ready for mobile friendliness. This is, we can't do that. We have time. Number 24. Your environment should reflect your goals. Surrounding influence outcomes. And so, how do we do this? We have tools, we have colors, we have things that make us feel comfortable to let us go that step. Having things right where you can access them is a good recipe for success. Number 25. Your habits must reinforce your identity. Your habits must reinforce your identity. You don't do habits because somebody said, oh, let's do a habit. No, guys. You do a habit because it's part of consistency. It's part of its structure, right? Part of that. When we understand that, we can make positive changes in our life. Now, repetition, ladies and gentlemen, builds alignment, but not overnight. Number 26. Your mindset must support your direction, not somebody else's. Thinking shapes execution. Thinking shapes execution. What we're going to use, what resources. Number 27. Everything in your system should connect. Disconnected parts reduce effectiveness. Interesting, right? Think about what that means. Think about how that reflects on you. Number 28. When alignment is present, guys, acceleration will naturally follow. When alignment is present, things will get better. Let me see if I can give you an example. If you're doing inventory, and the inventory practices are done in the standards of GAAP, general accounting principles, they follow consistency and structure all the time, inventory will get better if it was bad. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, that flow replaces resistance. The flow of a river, the flow of a stream, the flow of your faucet or your shower. It replaces resistance. What will be resistance? You're turning on the faucet, you're putting your finger up there and holding the water back. That is resistance. Right? Let's even think about sneezing, right? You're going to sneeze. If you try to hold my knee, I'm not trying to sneeze, but if I try to hold my nose back, well, it causes resistance. It causes unnecessary discomfort. That's not the same as discomfort for success. That's unnecessary discomfort. That's a difference. Number 29. Less chaos creates more control. Less chaos creates more control. And now that we know that, we can understand one other thing. Order improves performance. The order always improves performance. But when people are starting out, they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're even thinking about. So a lot of people that, they're watching what the Joneses are doing. And the Joneses might not be doing the right thing, right? It's important that you make the choices on what's best for you, because things that you like might be different from what other people like, right? I think that's a very wise thing to actually understand. To understand what that whole concept means, right? It's important, guys. It's definitely very, very important. So number 30, alignment is how you win long term. You don't win long-term by just gambling. Unified systems will always outperform scattered results. What's a unified system? A system that is all tied together. The outputs report back to the other inputs so that things can be measured and controlled. Let's say you're running a system for a bakery and you start out with the dough. All right. Then after the dough and you've got the dough made, now it needs to go in the oven. Every part of that process reports back so that you get a great loaf of bread or a good cookie or whatever you're making. But when we take the feedback of what's going on, we can adjust it. Maybe we notice that the bread is starting to burn. We better adjust it. But this can all happen now with technology. This can all happen with microcontrollers. They use sensors to constantly check the feedback of things. I remember doing work for a company that manufactures blades. And every 1,000th blade was scanned. And a micro adjustment was made. And then maybe 1 or 2 blades were discarded. And then it was ready for better production. Because every 1,000 blades, we discovered that the process seemed to degrade. It made not the same sharp blade. In closing, ladies and gentlemen, here is the truth. Are you ready for the truth? You do not need more effort. You do not need more complexity. You need alignment in your life. Because when your life stops pulling in different directions like the tug-of-war rope, it starts moving forward as one unified, controlled system. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where acceleration begins. Ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's always such a privilege and pleasure to be here with you here. This has been Inspirations for Your Life, and this is where alignment becomes momentum. The question I have for you today or tomorrow is, if you're not in alignment, what are you waiting for? What's going to make you get aligned? Is it loss of money? Is it frustration in relationships? Is it a disappointed client? What is it? Have yourself a great one, everyone, and I'll catch you tomorrow with a brand new master topic. Be well, everyone, and take care.